Meeting of the Bland County School Board to order. If you would, Mr. Buttrey, give the invocation.
Lord, we thank you, God, for the opportunity to come and to conduct the business of our children's education in Blaine County, Lord, this evening. God, I ask for your wisdom and for your guidance, Lord, over everything that's said and over everything that's done tonight. God, we ask, Lord, for things, Lord, that we don't know what to ask for. God, because the Scripture tells us, Lord, you hear the groanings of our heart. God, tonight hear us. Lord, lead, guide, and direct us as a county to be unified. Lord God, to stand, Lord, for the righteous things of our children. And in God, to protect the innocents. God, we give you praise, Lord, this evening. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
got their microphone on.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay, we've got a little bit of things to take care of, and then we'll get into, I think, the reasons why most people are here. Need to approve the minutes of the June 29th special meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Just go ahead for
Four.
Four.
Is Maggie doing the minutes? Or?
Scott is.
Scott is.
Need
you,
to
sir.
approve the minutes of the July 15th regular meeting.
I'll make a motion for those as
Mr.
well.
Shepherd.
Second.
Four.
Four.
For. Okay, financial reports. We only have 1 month in the reports, and the budget is not included in it at this time, and that month has very little payroll since the majority of the payroll was paid out of last year. So we'll essentially table the financial reports until the next meeting. Okay, so that gets us to the Virginia Department of Education policy discussion.
No bottles.
That's okay, thank you, appreciate that.
Thanks, man.
Okay, at the last meeting, we talked about the transgender policy that was passed to us from the Virginia Department of Education, and said that we were going to investigate it further, and that we had some latitude at that time because of various court cases that were pending. And since then, and July 27th was kind of the day when a lot of the court cases were resolved. There was a court case by Christian Action Network, Family Foundation, Founding Freedoms Law Center, and Hanover County Parents Sarah Villa. Basically saying that they wanted the VDOE policy on transgender dismissed. Well, the court did not rule in their favor. So we did not get the ruling I'll say we were hoping for. The court ruled against these cases. But there was a positive on the thing. There was a silver lining in that the court did give certain clarifications, which puts us in a situation to have some control. And the first clarification is that the VDOE policy is guidance. It is not a law or a directive. And the second one was that schools would not lose funding if they did not adopt the model policies. Now, it did say that you had to have a policy in place to protect your students, and the policy had to guarantee care and dignity. Okay. So we have looked at our policy. In that case, you'll see on the agenda there's lots of policies being revised. That policy is not being touched as far as protection of students. So the Bland County School Board does not support the transgender policies as provided as guidance by the DOE and the Attorney General's office. You want me to read that again? Current policies support the needs and protection of our children and our community, and we feel these policies do not require modification at this time. We will work on an individual basis to address any situation that arises. Okay, just to expand on this a little bit, because it's kind of interesting that the school boards have become the crux of this debate. But looking back at how this got to where it is, and who really you need to be talking to, is the legislature passed the laws, the governor signed the laws, there was court cases, the courts ruled on the laws, and the Attorney General then detailed his interpretation of the court rulings. In no place in that chain were the school boards ever involved. Now, something you need to keep in mind is that this was not an issue with school system restrooms. This is state of Virginia. Any public restroom in the state of Virginia is under the rulings of the Attorney General. So if you stop at a rest area, if you stop at a service station, if you go to a Walmart, if you are in a mall someplace, courthouse, fairgrounds, any place, these are the laws that are in place. Now, with the schools, we have and we will protect our students. But that's not the only public restrooms that the family uses. So, like I say, we're going to do our best, but you got to understand we're controlling a very small part of this, and really had no input into how this came about. So, you know, there's elections coming up. There's various things. Let the people in Richmond know how you feel. The Attorney General, Mark Herring, took probably the most liberal approach you could on this, and essentially said that's what we were supposed to do. Now, the courts gave us an option to avoid that. But, you know, that was where he was pushing everybody. So it's not like I say, this is not a school board issue. We didn't pass these things. Anytime you're with your family and you stop and somebody goes into a restroom, those are the laws, and that's the interpretation that's in place. The other thing I know that's a hot topic right now are going back to school and the requirements on going back to school. And we have a back-to-school policy that we'll be approving and actually modifying some in this. And let's see if I can find it real quick.
Need mine?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. Here, I think I found it, yeah.
You got it.
What we're doing on this is, I hope you understand that the safety of the students is number one in our mind. I'm not saying that we make all the right decisions, but if we're going to err on the side of safety for the students. Now, what this policy has that we'll be addressing later, it has 3 levels of, I'll say, safety in the schools. Phase 1, masks are optional. Now, on transportation, on buses, it's a federal law that you have to wear masks on any public transportation, which school buses are public transportation. So that's a federal law. We have no control over that. But as far as on our premises, phase 1, masks are optional. Phase 2, masks are required. Phase 3, masks are required, and there's a whole lot of other requirements, and that's basically what you put in place when you're having cases in-house and you're trying to make sure that you're addressing it aggressively. So we have those 3 phases. Now, where are we currently at? Well, I don't know how many of you follow the statistics in Virginia, but Virginia is on a rapidly increasing curve. And the curve has not slowed down at all. Now, what about Bland County? Bland County's on a bad curve. I think there's 7 people in the courthouse out with it right now. In July, there were 17 cases in the county. As of Friday, in August, there was 24, but we know there were multiple cases over the weekend. The bad thing about this Delta variant is roughly a fourth of the cases in Bland County are people 18 and under. So on the first round, there were very few cases that impacted our students. But this time, that's not the case. This variant is much tougher on, like I say, 0 to 18. So that means the chance of having cases in the schools is much higher. We get reports every day on the schools that have started, and multiple schools, and we can go back and quote you the schools, but multiple schools have had significant outbreaks after they've gone back to school. Right now, based on what Virginia is and what Bland County is, we would be in phase 2, which means masks are required for the students. Now, what we've talked about and what we're going to vote on later in this is there is an option on what they call a mask break, so that the children don't have to wear masks all day long. And what we are looking at is that as long as we have no active cases in the school, that we will consider any time a student is at their desk a mask break. Now, we're going to identify that as phase 2A, basically with more latitude. But if we have active cases in the school, we will go to a pure phase 2, which means masks required. And this is what will be voted on later. Okay, so that's kind of an update. I know a lot of people always say the rumors are usually better than the truth, are more interesting, and wanted to kind of hear it from the horse's mouth here. So with that, I think the next item on the agenda is public comment. And public comment, some of you have heard this many times, some of you haven't, but public comment is limited to 3 minutes. It's for us to hear your opinions. It's not to debate with each other. It's for us to understand your point of view. If we need a clarification, we can ask you a question. We may not say anything. We're just here to listen to you. With that also, I want everybody to be respectful. Only one person has the floor, and I don't want people chiming in and making various remarks. So with that, do you have the sign-up sheet? I'll take it here. Thank you. Okay, and excuse me if I mispronounce names. Some from penmanship and some from my ability to read. Last name's Phillips. Is it Joe? Joe? Okay.
Come to the mic.
Please come to the podium there. That's okay.
All right. I made it. Hi, Phil. Okay, Joe Phillips, and you know, I'm born and raised in Bland County all my life, and I never dreamed that I'd see a time like this, and I'm sure the rest of y'all feel the same way. But after listening to you, I have a better understanding of y'all's position, and thank God for you on that. I believe there's the conservatives, that we will stand together, and it's all, you know, about our children. I'm a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, and I'm a great lover of all children because they are a heritage of God, and I believe they're gifts of God. And it's up to us to stand up, and take a stand for their rights. So I appreciate listening to you there, Brother, what's your name?
Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
make
been
it
in one
hard,
of these
too.
meetings, but, I understand it better. I think you're doing it the right way. I just pray that God will always guide us in these things. We don't need to argue, we don't need to fuss, we just need to know that times change mind and do like He tells us to do. We can, you ever watch old Barney Fife, we can nip it in the bud. And I think it's time we do some nipping in the buds, don't you? But God bless you all. I've listened to you, and I learned quite a bit here tonight. And I ain't taking up much time. I know my people says you're a blabbermouth, but I'm not. God bless you, and I thank you for the job you do, and let's all keep our prayers going for these people
Our children.
and our precious heritage from God. They are a gift of God, and if you give me a gift, I cherish it.
Yes.
And we should. God bless you.
Thank you. Maggie, are you keeping time? Okay, Elizabeth Blankenship?
I'm Elizabeth Blankenship, Navy veteran, a mother of a child in your school, and a second mom to several other kids in the school. I've listened to what y'all said. I'm glad you all are going the way y'all decided to go, because there's too many safety issues and other concerns if it would have went the other way, which I wish our government would remove their heads from their backsides and get their minds straight, along with their hearts. But I greatly appreciate you all watching out for our kids. Makes it a little bit easier on some of us mothers when we have you all's help. But I greatly appreciate being able to come here and listen to what you all had to say and have it explained outright. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason Wilburn?
Like the people have said before me, I am very grateful for the way you guys have went about this transgender issue. Unlike these, I'm not a parent, I'm a student at this school. And I understand the position that you guys are put in and the choices that you have to make. And I just want you to know, and I can safely say on behalf of me and the student body and the students in this room, we appreciate all that you do for us and the decisions you guys have made. Thank you.
Brooke Sanders?
I'm Brooke Sanders. I'm a student at the school. And like everybody before me has said, I'm greatly appreciate you guys going the way you're going, because if not, the safety issues at the school for the females would have been awful. So I bless you.
Thank you. Tony Kennedy?
My wife said I couldn't come and not say something, so here I am. I don't know if that was an insult or an encouragement. So, anyway, no, I too want to thank the school board and the job you do. I sat in that seat for a while and know it's not easy. And there's several things said here that's been excellent this evening. The opening prayer, some of the comments, and the direction the school board's going. There's a couple things that I guess I would contradict, maybe. I won't get into that too deep, but there's lies, there's big lies, and there's statistics, someone said, and there's some truth in that. I think we got to be careful. Obviously, you got to follow guidelines and so forth to understand that. But we've got to come together as a community, and there's a responsibility of this school board, there's a responsibility of every person sitting in this audience to be unified and to come together and not in division. These students that may be impacted or that we may be talking about that could be in our midst, we've got to look to help those students too, and I think the approach is correct. There's no room for discrimination, shouldn't be discrimination. And I think we've got, as you said, policy in place, and there's no adjustment needed. But we've got to come together. And Ms. Phillips mentioned the unity, and God's word hasn't changed. And if you all recall, those that are here last time, I shared that very sentiment. The manufacturer's written instructions never change. And if we'll follow that, the user will get the best experience. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Debbie Phillips?
Well, I've never spoken. I'm not much of a speaker, but I was here because I did have grandchildren in school, and I just wanted to thank y'all for voting the right way to keep, things the way they are. Because I think we all know that things just, things are doing change, but some things don't need to change. But thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joni Swinson?
Hello. As with most of the others that have spoken before me tonight, most of what I came to say tonight is now a moot point. So I do thank you for taking the position that you are. I'm a 94 graduate of Rocky Gap High School. I moved out of the area for several years, said I would never come back. Here I am, and I'm perfectly content and happy to be here. I do not have any biological children, but I have had the opportunity and the honor to be raising 2 of my stepchildren. One graduated this past year, one will be a senior this upcoming year. So it was my honor, and I was very proud to be able to have them in school here, where I know the values of the people, the values of the community, and I received an excellent education here in Bland County. So I was anxious that they were going to receive that as well. Thank you so much for the vote that you're doing for our community, for our children, and for our families. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I've got a few that don't have their address on here, so when you go to the podium, please give your address, because it's a requirement that you be a citizen of the county. And I know several of these are, but just for the record. Shauna Shannon? Shauna Shannon?
I'm probably one of those that need the address. My name is Shauna Shannon, and I live at 356 Main Street in Bland. Like I said, my name is Shauna Shannon. I've been a teacher for the past 20 years and have spent the past 13 years as a special education teacher in Wythe County Public Schools. I'm also the co-owner of Shanachai Martial Arts Studios, which has been in business for 40-plus years now. At Shanachai, in addition to our evening classes, I run a summer camp, which houses an average of 60 to 70 students each year, and an after-school program, which has an average of 50 to 60 students each school year in Wythe County. Both of these programs accommodate young children ages 5 to 12. I recently took a leave of absence from my job in Wythe County for several reasons. The first and main reason that I arrived at this difficult decision was because I saw the direction that Wythe County was heading in very impressionable and vulnerable young students, as well as our faculty. Policies that directly contradict my beliefs as a Christian, a mother, and a teacher. The second reason was to pursue my longtime dream of opening a private preschool and virtual learning center for grades K through 5 in order to provide a much-needed service to the Wythe community and to offer a beacon of hope to what many see as a corrupt public school system that is bent on indoctrinating our children. My husband's family, generations worth, were born and raised in Blaine County. I've lived here for the past 13 years. I'm previously from Lexington, Kentucky. We have tentatively chosen Blaine County this year. Our children have been in Granite. I didn't put them in Spiller last year with me, which they could have went, but I didn't agree with a lot of the policies. So they went to Granite Christian. Our hopes is that they'll be here at Blaine County. Their ages are 5 and 6. Needless to say, we have vested a very special interest in the policies that are being considered here today. I did hear that you all, one of the policies that I was going to address today would be the acceptance of the transgender policies. And I wanted to thank you all and appreciate that you all just voted to not implement that. So thank you, and I won't have to read my paragraph to you about that. Now to the issue of masks. As an educator and as a parent, I know and understand well the importance of facial expressions in communicating and teaching children, adults as well, but particularly children. Facial expressions is a huge component in effective communication, and this component should only be limited if absolutely necessary. Since the early onset of COVID-19, we've learned much about the data on wearing masks and their effectiveness in halting the spread of any virus, including COVID-19. The data is at best extremely conflicting. To date, there is no compelling evidence to suggest that masks have effectively protected or slowed the spread of COVID. However, there is much to be said about the adverse effects of wearing masks, particularly for children. When the data and measures put forth by the National Institute of Health and the Center for Disease Control and other government agencies directly conflict with one another, how can we be confident with any one approach? And in the utter inconsistencies of recommendations and applications by Dr. Fauci and his colleagues. It's no wonder that many Americans are now abandoning such measures and choosing freedom and common sense measures instead. I know my time's almost up. I just want to say, too, as a special ed teacher, I've noticed, too, like kids have, I'll finish it up. At the end of the day, they look like a dirty diaper. They don't know which way to wear them. They have thrown up in them at school. So I'll finish. And anyways, you understand where I'm getting at with this.
Right.
In closing, I ask that you strongly consider the risk versus the rewards of both of these issues. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Nathan Hubble. Nathan Hubble. You need to hit the snooze. Okay. Is Nathan Hubble no longer here? Okay, Jack Morgan, for the record, please give us your address.
My name is Jack Morgan. I reside at 12122 Grapefield Road, Bastion. First, I want to commend Superintendent Meade for the hard work that I know you did on this. I appreciate what you put into it. Thank you so much. You deserve a lot of appreciation. I want to thank the board. Excellent job, as I was pretty sure you would on this one. I think you did a fantastic job. Mr. Shepherd, I agree with 90% of what you said tonight. That might shock you, but you did a good job.
I don't think I've ever been that high.
On most everything. I agree. The best thing that's happened from all of this is this. I've been an activist for, as you know, Philip, 20-some years, and almost nobody ever gets involved. So these people deserve a huge appreciation and round of applause. Thank y'all so much. You also said we need to get involved in more than this, and I agree, sir. But you also said that it's really not you, but it's the state and it's the CDC. And there I want to challenge you, because we voted for you guys to represent us. Everybody has a role in there. I almost messed up and said democracy. We don't live in one. We live in a republic, and everybody has a role, as do you. I appreciate your service. I really do. But I'm asking you to consider what Ms. Shannon said was perfect. These numbers, they're crazy, and we all know it. The CDC changes every day, and we all know it. Dr. Fauci is a joke, and everybody knows it. What you need to do is stand up to our sorry tyrant governor and our sorry legislature. We'll work to get him replaced, but stand up. I'm begging you, stand up. Don't put a mask on my daughter. And in fact, you won't put a mask on my daughter and my wife. Don't do it. Stand up and represent us, not Ralph Northam. We don't care what Ralph Northam says. We don't care what the representatives from Richmond and from Nova say. We don't care anymore. There's a demarcation line in America, and we've hit it, folks. We've hit a different time in our country where it's time to fight. It's time to stand up for what you know to be right. And Mr. Shepherd, I believe you know to be right. I really do. I know you do. Stand up and fight and tell them our kids are free Americans and they will do what they want, not what Ralph Northam tells them to do. So that's what I'm challenging you to do tonight. If you vote wrong on this tonight, If you get this wrong tonight, you will face more than this, I promise. We will not sit down if you put masks on our children. God bless all of y'all. Thank you so much. God bless this great state.
I think that does require some clarification there, in that if we have a code in the school, all students will be expected to.
If you vote for that, we will
Support it.
not sit down, sir.
We have dress codes, we have other codes to keep students safe, and we will not accept if certain individuals say, I'm not going to follow the codes that we put in the school, so. Okay, Cliff Bowman.
I'm Cliff Bowman. I reside at 4224 Railroad Trail, Baston, Virginia. I was here last time, but my points are moot because you have already voted what I felt like you should have done. Thank you so much for that. I do want to say, you guys got a tough job, and I want you to know that I pray for you. I pray for you daily. I pray for you often. And I think all of us, we need to contact those in Richmond. I do. And I have done it for years. I have wrote letters to my senators. I have wrote letters to the governor. I've got them in my office about all these issues before they ever came. But I want to applaud you for taking a stand, because you have taken a stand against, I think, policies that are being pushed down our throats, and that an agenda that is wrong and is biblically wrong. And I think that as a pastor, I want to be the moral conscience of where I serve. And if somebody don't take a stand, who will? But thank you so much. God bless you for the stand you've taken, and I appreciate it. And as far as the mask, I think it ought to be mandatory. I mean, not mandatory, but voluntary. I just think that that's something that we live in the United States. We don't live in China, and it should be voluntary anywhere. And I think Governor Northam should have made it voluntary at the very beginning. It should have been something people do because they want to do, not because they are forced to do it. And so I don't know what you do with that, but that's my opinion. But God bless you.
Thank you.
Dreamer Hatcher.
Good evening. As everybody has said,
Please
I want to
state your address
Oh,
if you don't mind.
It's not on there? Okay.
No.
650 Laurel Drive, Rocky Gap, Virginia. I wanted to tell you thank you. I have prayed long and hard about this. I know that you saw that we had drawn up a petition and a rally, and I wanted to let you all know that wasn't against you guys. It was not against the board at all. We wanted to make a statement as a community, as a county, and just let you guys know where we stand. And we appreciate you giving us the opportunity to speak today. There was one thing that caught my ear just a little bit when we were going through that, and it seemed as if, though you made the judgment that we wanted, it seemed a little bit of a hesitancy when it came to if there was a question about the finances, if you would have been swayed the other way. And that would just be a concern if something come up later on in the state, if they stated, if they forced it a little bit harder on you guys. That would just be a concern if you all would still stand that ground, or if the money was at stake, if some of our funding was at stake, would you still stand in that same realm and that stand as you have tonight? We end up having well over 200 signatures in a petition. I just see no need to present that to the board tonight. But I just wanted to say thank you. And as you all know, I'm running for the board, and if elected, this is a board that I would want to represent as well. And I appreciate you all for everything, and I will continue to pray for you all, mentally, physically, and health-wise. Thank you.
Okay, Beth Razzo Soto? Tell me how I should have said that. Was I anywhere close?
Yes, it's Beth Rosso Soto.
Okay. I just need a little-
112 Angels Pass Drive, Baston,
Well,
Virginia.
you wrote yours in, you're good.
Okay, okay. I was born here, raised here, graduated from school here. I have a daughter that's graduated, another daughter in school, getting ready to be a grandparent. So thankful about the decision that you made with the transgender bathroom. Can't imagine that I would ever have to send my daughter to school and have to face something like that. It would make her so very uncomfortable. If it is in public, I can choose where we go and where we don't go to the bathroom, but she can't really do that when she's at school. As far as the mask, I want her to grow up in America knowing she's free to make her choices. So I absolutely am against a mask mandate. I think as parents, we should have the best interests of our children at hand, so we should be able to choose just, because I want her to grow up and know that she has the right to make the choices. So I'm totally against a mask mandate. Thank you for your time and everything y'all do.
That's everyone I have on the sign-up sheet. I don't know if there's people outside that haven't had a chance to come in. If you want to take 5 minutes and make sure we got everybody covered, I'm willing to do that. People are willing to stay for the rest of the meeting. The agendas are back there if you want to. Or if you would like to leave now, like I say, we'll do a 5-minute recess and then we'll reconvene.
We've already checked. Everybody's good, sir.
Okay,
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you, everybody.
How's your grandmother?
So sad. Just
What's that?
Why don't we reconvene here?
Okay. Let me take another sip.
Flip a coin, guys. Which one wants to go first?
Yeehaw.
Tyler hadn't been here for a while. We'll let him go first.
I know, we heard you got married. Congratulations.
That's right.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
no.
Yeah, Curly was
didn't
telling
know
us
that.
about the
Curly's the one that told us all about that.
She didn't know that because I
I
didn't know
don't
that
think your
either.
grandma did either.
Yeah, I found out about that when I
We were
got
all mad
back.
we weren't invited.
Yeah. I want
Yeah.
to know where to put the present.
Kathy Muncie dimed me out to grandma, I guess. I don't know. Hope you guys are doing all right. I think this has been 2 months since I've been able to talk to you, so good to see you. Appreciate everything that we've done earlier. So just leave my opinion out of that, but I appreciate it. First, want to give our condolences to Mr. Paul Looney and his family. You know, Paul, we don't have to say what he did because he did so much, but just want to pray for them and pray for Paul, and condolences to the family, for sure. Play a little catch-up with you. In July, of course, we had our summer school session. I think I watched the school board meetings, and I think my data didn't show up on that, or wouldn't open. So I apologize. I'll get that resent to you. But we had 33 kids in our summer school program. 31 received at least 1 credit, and several received 2 credits. So we were extremely happy with that turnout, and the teachers that were able to get a little extra money moving into the summer. So that was a success story for sure. 3 of our seniors are taking online courses to be able to graduate. We've got one young lady who will be finished up this week, if all goes well, and will be a summer graduate from Blaine County High School. So we're extremely proud of her and the other students that are trying to finish up what they started. So, of course, we had STEM camp. Miss Radford, Miss Bradshaw, Miss Kopp ran that, the administrative side of that. And, of course, all the first day I get there, Pam Lambert's in a shark, and I hope y'all got to see the pictures I pulled in. I was like, what is going on here? Welcome to elementary school. I guess I love it. But that was a huge success. I got to speak to Miss Bradshaw about it, and I think we have upwards of 80 kids doing that. So that's something we're extremely proud of.
That was a big turnout.
Yeah, that's huge.
And the kids needed it.
They do. And they enjoy it. You know, anytime you're with that group of teachers, and all of our teachers, but especially that group, it's a fun time. Some school items. Denise and Karen and and Becky from the elementary school, she came over and helped Karen with our schedule. And they've been doing that for most of the summer. I think somewhat outside of their contract obligation. They work hard on what we need. And that's complete. I think we've got some tweaks on the SPED side of things where we need some inclusion teachers. But Miss Guzzi, Miss Ariel Sarver helped on that. That is a monster, as we well know from last year. They've tackled it, and we're pretty pleased with how it came out, really pleased. So we're excited to get going. Shout out to Miss James and Blake Stowers, Miss Leftwich for holding down the Mountain Home Center over the summer, and a guy named John Hagan. He
What a weirdo.
what a cat! I'm telling you what. I mean, I've only worked here a couple years, but yeah, he's a game changer. We've been doing things in that office. You just need an IT guy. You feel like 24/7. And he's been there and done exactly what we asked, and he's a home run. So we're excited to have John, as everybody else, but he was a nice addition to the IT side of things at the high school. Speaking of dual enrollment, Miss James, of course, and Karen have been getting those kids in, getting them the Chromebooks. Blake Stowers, we've got 41 dual enrollment students right now signed up. We think we might get one more kid, but it's starting quickly, so he'll need to decide soon. But 41's a good number. We've got 10 students signed up for the virtual Region 7 Virtual Academy. It was 12. We had a mom decide to send her kids in-house, so we're excited about that too. A little update on athletics activities. Of course, our fall sports and activities are kicking off. Band, I think, has upwards of 40 students. Our football team, volleyball teams, cross country, golf, cheer, we all have enough players to put out an organized group and hopefully a competitive group. Our volleyball team's actually on the road right now to Tazewell for their first scrimmage, Coach Romano and Miss Bradshaw. And football heads to Twin Valley Friday for their first benefit game. The following week is week 1 versus Craig County, our first home game here. So we're extremely excited about that. Miss Morgan and Melanie and Miss Gates and Coach Woods, of course, wrapping up our fall sports there. So we've got a good turnout and we're excited about it. Along with our middle school. Everybody, a lot of people forget we field middle school teams too, and that's a whole nother monster. So we're excited about that. We've got a couple positions open in our activities and athletics. Middle school basketball coach for the boys, there's an opening, and not an official opening right now, but drama and theater will have an opening as well if we can't find somebody in-house to do that. Updates on facilities. I think you guys are well aware. The bleachers on the visiting side, football field, they look great. I think those have been, I'm not a contractor or construction man, but they look really well done. A lot of the places in bleachers, especially ours, that were a safety issue are no longer that on the visiting side. So we hope to get that done on the home side moving forward. And when you go get a hot dog, you'll notice a new revamped concession stand. Miss Myers, Miss Hayes, Miss Pruitt, and I'm sure I'm missing some key people that helped with that, but they redid our entire concession stand in there, painted it, gave it a good facelift, so hopefully we'll sell a few more Big John hot dogs and a few more curly nachos, baby. So hopefully. That catches me up. Some things that we'd like, or I would like, and I know I have not mentioned this to Denise yet, but I know it's something we've been talking about with Mr. Mead and Miss Parker, but something we'd like the board to help us with potentially is getting some video surveillance or cameras at our athletic facilities. I think student safety is our number one, and that would eliminate a lot of the hesitancies we have with putting on events or leaving buildings unsecure as far as video goes. I think that would help us out a lot, and the accountability piece comes up with that when we have an eye in the sky. I think it holds parents accountable, it holds me accountable, it holds everybody that's there more accountable, and reduces the amount of bad opportunities that could have flowed. So it's something I'd like our board to consider in helping us moving forward. I think, now that I recall, last time I was supposed to get you a key legend, or I just remembered that, to be able to get our school rekeyed. I don't know if Micah did that a couple meetings ago. Like I said, I've been absent, and I apologize. But if that's still on the table, I'd like I'd like for us to be able to consider that, because we do have some,
There's a lot of keys
older
floating.
facilities, a lot of keys. I can't tell you
Yeah,
the box of keys that we
an
got.
outline of what you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think you guys are supposed to get that.
Well, how did the quad, that's a proper term, right? The football?
Scrimmage?
Yes.
It was a try. We
try?
had Patrick Henry bounce out on us and go
Okay, so it
to
went from
another place. That's okay. It went well. You know, we had, and I'll let Mr. Bright touch on that too when he gets up here. You know, we've got roughly about 21 kids, so it's difficult to really see the whole picture. But from what I saw out there, our kids played hard. There's a lot of enthusiasm. And as a former coach, that's what I want. I want kids with a little bounce, a little pizzazz, and the rest kind of will take place. You know, we've got a couple new coaches that are on the stipend side, and Coach Travis, Coach Reed does a great job. So we're excited, and we'll see Friday. So we called some couple schools around us to see kind of where we stood numbers-wise, and Craig County, who wasn't going to have a team last year, put out 34 kids this year. So, you know, it's hopefully there's a swing, you know, and it'll trickle downhill here a little bit. But other than that, you know, we've got some facelift things we're doing in the school, and we want to revamp our locker rooms, and Wayne and JDM have been painting those, and we've got to get some lockers ordered to get in there, but we're making progress. Probably not as much progress as elementary school, but we're moving along, and just excited to be here.
Got a couple questions for
Sure.
you. The live streaming of our football games, are we still gonna do that?
We won't be able to until we get internet provided there.
Okay, so we need a, huh?
Yeah.
Can we not get the same thing we have here, just put one down there to get the same thing?
It has to beam up to the water tower.
Yeah.
You can't see it from there?
And I don't know if they can or not, but the issue with that is Gigabeam can't get up on the water tower, make any adjustments.
Yeah, that's true.
GID will not let them.
Who won't let them?
They won't let them climb up on the water tower.
We know anybody from GIV?
We'll make some
Don't
phone
point
calls.
fingers at me.
Call me.
Who owns the water
I
tower?
have begged them, I have told them,
Is that county?
you need to go get your equipment, that's your.
And that is a huge eyesore, not an eyesore, I don't mean that, but, you know, it's something we can provide. We have the,
Well, because if you
Equipment
put
to
a
go.
security system down there, you're gonna need probably internet access, so we need an internet hub down there in order to
That's
do
right.
that, so
That's true.
we'll.
I have called everybody.
yeah, she had. This has been an
No,
action item.
I believe you have, I believe
Denise
you
and I
have,
have talked
I'm
about
just
this
confirming.
since we got
You need to talk
Pixelot
to
on
Mark
board.
about
My
that.
next plan is Starlink,
Yeah,
if they'll let us, but that's not coming in till.
yeah. I was gonna ask a couple more questions.
ahead.
One of them is, the football booster stood before us a couple months while you've been absent. And, they've asked for payment of half the cost of their jerseys, from us. And we, directed them to you, from the athletic fund. Have you been approached, and have you, said anything
only-
about possibly helping them with that?
The only feedback I got back from, I believe it was Miss Hayes that I spoke to about it, or maybe it was Nikki, I can't recall. Miss Hayes, yeah. That their initial thought was that we were going to be able to split that with the school board. But I don't think that's an option from what I've learned now. So I have not been approached about it.
Okay.
But, you know, we do what we can.
But we said, I mean, we thought we were gonna have some money left it last year. It didn't end up that way. But we did, someone make a commitment that we would try and match funds when they got funds. Now, I think there's a little miscommunication. Money, do you give me half of it? Or when I bring money in, do you match what I brought in? And we were kind of looking at.
They've been fundraising. Of course, they've been selling
Right,
cards.
and I
I don't know
mean-
if y'all bought a card yet, but make sure you get one.
Yes, we
Right,
have.
our idea was to motivate fundraising.
Yeah, and I agree
and
with
not
that and
to-
support that.
Because if we're paying half of what they spent, then we got to go back and say, well, where did the money come from?
Right.
Did you really raise that money, or was it in, sitting in an account, or did we already give you that money and now we're giving you the other half?
Right. No, I haven't seen an invoice or been approached about purchasing.
Well, I'm
after.
just saying, and the reason I say is because you have activity funds that are sitting there, and you could help them, and I don't think it was a whole lot of money. So I just wanted to
Sure.
ask. Another question I had was, how many of our students in the high school have signed up, they're in person, but they said, oh, I also want to take one of the virtual classes as well? Not dual enrollment,
Hold on.
virtual.
I got you.
Is there any?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got them. There's 10 kids total that are on my list, and I believe 3 are only taking, we got one young lady who's taking a French course.
Okay.
We've got 2 young ladies who are taking 3 courses or so.
I've talked to several parents, and there's a general concern that they didn't know that. Is there a way that you could communicate with students and parents to let them know that there is the option in this school year to be able to take in-person and online classes, whether it's dual enrollment, which I know it's a big push, but
Yeah.
also these virtual courses that we're a part of? I mean, there's no sense in not availing ourselves of this great opportunity that they're gonna have to take courses that would be beyond our wildest dreams.
Yeah, sure.
I encourage you to do that.
No, I will
as soon
do
as
it.
possible.
Gotcha.
Pay for those courses if they take.
That's
I
all
sent
I
an
had.
email.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Asking about the water tower. So I'll find out why that's not happening.
That was,
And I'll run that up some
that
ladders.
information was also listed on the web page, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we sent out a,
Yeah, I think.
but it wasn't, so if Sandy Eastep was reading it, she wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? She wouldn't have been able to decipher that, well, I can take one class through, I love her, and I wouldn't have been able to either. We need to communicate that, so.
Yeah,
I agree with what you're saying.
just to break, I mean, because some kids may want to take a different class, or they may want to take some of the core classes that we traditionally offer in-house. They could also take those online, for whatever reason.
Gotcha. Water tower?
How was the honeymoon?
Well, it was actually, I did it backwards, a little bachelor party after.
Oh,
So, now
I'm
we're
sorry,
planning for the
Tyler.
baby shower.
I'm sorry, sir, we did that.
Don't.
Curly's the one that told, he's the one that let the cat out of
It's
the
too
bag.
late now. Carolyn knows. It's over. Thank you.
Thank you.
The other blue shirt here.
You can go over your right now. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How we doing?
He's our paint hauler.
I'm just happy there are no fumes in this room.
Lowe's runner.
We are currently
I
standing
bought
at,
Lowe's stock today, by the way.
I was there twice. Enrollment today stands at 337 and slowly climbing. We're still actually waiting on some records for some students who are switching divisions of Forest, coming to us.
That's great.
Yeah, so we are
How
steadily
many in
rising.
kindergarten?
I have no idea. No, it's just under 45.
Okay. 43.
Like, who said that? No, that makes sense because, yeah, there were some movements that took place right there at the end. And I was thinking of the rosters for each of the teachers. A little lower than we were last year because we had upwards of 60 kindergartners. Let's see, in-house, we currently have 6 students who are working through Region 7 Virtual Academy. That, I believe, will actually get the number 6 student taken care of tomorrow. That's 1 student who'll be using Stride and 5 of them that'll be going through Edgenuity. We offer both options for our students. So key events coming up, we got kindergarten camp on August 25th. We're gonna run that very similar to we did last year. Don't even do that to me. Because all projects in the building will be done by the 24th.
Do we all need to cross our fingers and pray?
No, we're
Cross
fine,
anything you
we're
got.
fine, we're fine. I have a lot of very orange motivated workers, so we'll get there.
Yes. Thank
So
God for
that's,
them.
we're running 3 one-hour sessions, one at 9, 11, and again at 1 o'clock. It is the same format we ran last year because we are short on time. We would have loved to have run one-day sessions for each group of students, but that is not feasible.
None of those orange guys are mowing, are they?
No.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Not currently.
Oh, well, yeah.
In the rain. We will be hosting all of Mr. Mead's closest friends, I believe, on Friday, the 27th.
Old people?
At the elementary school. And by closest friends, I mean all faculty and staff of Blaine County Schools. A bit of an opportunity to show off, so things will really have to be done, because then the next Monday is open house from noon to 7, and all the teachers who are listening at home are listening to these dates
We're
freaking
gonna feed
out.
everybody too. It's sort of a gathering for lunch and for you to show off your facility.
For the board to show off all the effort they provided us for that to happen.
And when I say
Well,
that,
sure, okay.
I want to also thank you for taking on that responsibility of going to lunch.
Just flying down the interstate. And so the first day of school, September 1st, I really do believe that the vast majority of our projects will be completed as long as nobody else comes in the building and says, you know what we should do before school starts? And see how much we can get done. There's no eye contact there.
That's not a joke.
No, I know it's not a joke.
It was, the warden came in this morning and said, that door looks really good. Why don't you make the rest of them look like that?
I said, you can take them down, but they have to go back into the same frame they came off of. Because I guarantee 100 years later, they're not the same size anymore.
Yeah, oh, man, nose back.
So we'll see how that plays out, but the amount of work just for the HVAC system and for the electricians and for with sheet metal to do that amount of work has been phenomenal. And they are plugging right along, and we should be in a good spot with them. And then the pennies on the dollar that we have gotten a return for the painting and the other renovation pieces, I really hope Tyler can be that blessed next summer.
That's what we're shooting.
And I really have been putting that into everyone's ear down there, except for the guys in orange. I hope they can be out by then. But you've got a phenomenal crew, very motivated folks from the correctional facility that really want to help us out. It's just been huge. I mean, talk about revitalization. That's exactly what it is. So
To throw a name out here, R.D. French has been amazing.
Yes.
He has owned this project. He can tell you which room needs a touch-up, which room needs, just anything. He keeps us, especially Mike, up to speed on, I'm gonna need this, this, and this tomorrow, and this Wednesday, and this. He has done a marvelous job.
And he can paint a heck of a mural, too. So.
Oh.
He's a good paint mixer.
He is a good painter, which is amazing he's in charge of the painters.
R.D. French is an artist?
He is an artist, yes.
R.D.?
You'll have to go check it out to believe it.
You'll be amazed at the
Yes,
artwork.
you will. You'll
And
probably
I
cry.
went in one day this week, and he's sitting in the cafeteria mixing color paints. So he's made this color and that color and that color, and how he does that, I don't know.
Yeah, it's been pretty phenomenal.
All mine come out purplish brown, you know.
The cafeteria looks amazing.
That's some puke brown.
Kids will be super excited.
Yes, if they ever get to eat in there again.
Yeah,
That'd be really
well,
good.
that's the plan.
We'll see how that plays out. So hopefully I'm sure all of our projects will be completed by Tuesday evening, the 24th. We've already invited teachers back in many places to come back in and work in the building if they're comfortable. Obviously, that's optional at this point because there are a lot of crews in there, no less than 4.
And there is some shock happens when they return to their classroom.
Yes, they're stepping over drop cloths, and then they see
Well,
that the
it's-
boxes are still all there in the room, which is exactly why we want to get them in there as quickly as possible. But I've seen some rooms be put together relatively quickly. It's just a little overwhelming when they step back in their rooms. It's a bit of shock and awe, it's awesome, but the shock of how much work still needs to be done. And that has been on both sides for the teachers, and we can't forget that because they packed everything up. And now it has to be unpacked and put back where they had it, so, and replaced if I broke it. That's true. So, but the teachers have had access. We've encouraged them to come on back, but they are working around each other at this point. And really, we're incredibly appreciative of the support we got from you guys just for this project to begin. And really am hoping and praying and sticking as many bugs in people's ears as possible for them to come over and work on the high school next year. I've got plenty of leftover orange paint so we can redo this entire room. I think that would keep our numbers high for
You
meeting
overbought
attendance.
orange paint?
What's that?
You overbought orange paint?
maybe. So there was a breakdown in communication between the mixer and myself at Lowe's, and didn't realize it until I was loading 1-gallon buckets into my truck. So not a lot, but you know,
stripes around
five.
It's exactly right. It'll stay. till next
Yeah, it
summer.
doesn't spoil. It's not milk.
No.
You know,
So let it freeze.
we're not changing school colors. We're good.
God, no.
Curly picked out the colors, so I know they're good.
Let's bring that up.
When you walk through the elementary school, you will know the school colors.
You
No
will.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, and then with that, just a lot of thanks to the correctional facility and French about keeping us moving forward, and hope to be able to get the teachers in as quickly as possible because we miss their faces, and then most obviously the students. So we're excited. I'm excited for summer to be over, believe it or not.
Yeah, you didn't know what you signed up for, did you?
No. Not even close, not even close. Questions?
You're gonna get you an outside door going into that closed-off corridor?
Yeah, it's on order.
Okay.
Talking about the courtyard? Oh, yeah, it's ordered.
Good.
And
There's
they're,
even enough paint left to paint it.
they're even supposed to go in there and landscape that. The
That's
prison
gonna be
is.
great.
Yeah, they're building planter boxes.
We can't say enough about those guys.
No.
I mean, the folks from Bland Correctional Center and the warden and RD.
warden just-
And just, they've owned this, and, I mean, they've taken initiative where, you know, just to bless our kids, and, even a lot of the, crew that they've had up there, I've just heard them voice that, hey, they're glad to give something back.
Yes.
And, they want the kids to be very happy with their school, and I think they're gonna be this coming year.
Yeah, it's very much, they're happy to give back to society in a productive way, and really have met some very wonderful people through
Yes.
this. And, you know, speak highly of a lot of those guys about the work they've done, and they have a lot of respect in the work they do. And if they have an individual in their crew who's not living up to that expectation,
That's right.
they will ask their supervisor to move the person off the crew.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, it's a high expectation when your peers are doing that for you, so.
It is.
But no, appreciate the time, appreciate the support, so Tyler's next, I know that, it needs to happen.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, you want to cover transportation?
Yeah, I think the first thing I'd like for folks to do is to keep Randy Umberger and Miss Griffith in your thoughts and prayers. They're two excellent drivers. They're not feeling well as we speak. We have our bus drivers in service, required in service on August 24th from 9 to 12. That'll be held right here. That's mandatory for all drivers to come in for that. I'll know more about the setup and who's going to replace a couple of drivers at that time. So that's basically what I have. I think they've been working hard on getting all the buses up and ready to go. So we put a lot of tires on them. We've done some other engine work. So we're ready to roll. I think if we had to go today, our buses would be ready. So that's what I have for transportation.
Okay, special services?
Hello.
Hello.
I have a couple of things to share with you. One, we'll just start off with STEM. Camp was definitely a success. I think we ended up with 86 students that registered and participated. They had a good time. They had a good time. We had a good turnout at the family picnic. And so I think it was a very successful event. Right now, I'm working on wrapping up the expenditures for our 2021 grant cycle. And the final report will be due to the Withland Foundation at the end of September. I've also submitted the grant application for the 21-22 school year to the Withland Foundation. We'll probably hear in October about that. But I'm requesting right at $139,000 for the STEM program. Things that we're adding to our grant at the elementary, we have a number of students who are interested and teachers who are interested in a robotics club for our kindergarten and second grade students. So I incorporated that into the grant for this year. Also, Mr. Estep has agreed to let us bring the STEM exploratory class back to 7th grade. So I have put some funding in the budget for that as well, to help with some expenses there. Quill, the Teacher Educational Enhancement Grant, we're finishing up the reporting for that for the Withbone Foundation, and we have applied for the grant for this coming school year also, and that's $30,000. The other thing I wanted to share with you, I did some work today on home instruction. We had 44 students who participated in home instruction last year. We currently have 23 students who are returning to home instruction, 15 who are returning to Blaine County Public Schools.
Praise the Lord.
11 of those are coming in person, 4 are going to attend in the virtual academy. And then I have 2 that are going to private school, and then I'm waiting on notifications from the others. And that was all that I had. If you have any questions for me.
All the grants, I guess, were already due to with Bland, so I've got them to review as part of that. But with Bland had a good financial year, so they've got more money to pass out than they have, so.
I'm asking for a little more than I did last year, since I
Hopefully
don't
we
have
can-
NASA.
Hopefully it'll come out good for Blaine County.
Thank you.
Okay, technology.
Boy, it's a long list. Ain't got all night.
It's long, but we've done a lot, and as Tyler said, Jonathan's done a lot for us at the high school. Mike and I and Jonathan too, we've been at the elementary, working around everybody that's in there, into the classrooms, trying to get smart boards, checking those, projectors, all of that. So it has been kind of busy, and at the elementary, it's kind of been nice that the teachers haven't been there because we've been able to go and grab their computers and get the updates, and it's been kind of nice. In fact, at both schools, the majority of the computers that are in use are Windows 10, so that was a big accomplishment with the 2 guys I got to help. Chromebooks, they're pretty much ready to be handed out except for first grade. They're here. We're working on getting those ready to go.
So you have all you need?
Yep.
Okay, praise the Lord. That's great.
Yep, for first grade, yep. Well, I'm hoping, I'm listening, I ordered extras, yes, but listening to Laura and all them talk about the virtual kids, now I may have to do another order to get, but yes. We've been working with Active Directory, trying to get everybody, making sure everybody's got a username and a password at both schools. All of the old technology equipment before this week, we've got more, is all gone. It's no longer in any of the schools. Here, it's gone here, but we are collecting more now, but it'll be gone as well. For me, I've been attending webinars, and I'm not real good anymore with a webinar because I put it on this screen and work on stuff over on this screen. So, but this summer has been a big summer for me for webinars with testing and reporting. I'm finished up with all of the reports except for one for the 2020-2021 school year. So that year is behind us, I hope. I've been working with Mastery Connects, who is our new benchmark testing software, getting that set up, getting the training. In fact, all core teachers in grades 3 through 11 will have training with it on August 27th for 3 hours. So, and that's all done virtual, so they'll be learning how to use that software. Other than that, we did get The pre-K building is networked, ready for internet, and I've ordered the projector for it. It just hasn't come in yet. So that building's ready to go except for, and we even traced some cables to see where they went down to the lower level. So we've been busy this summer.
What's the lower level look like? Is it clean? It was
It's-
supposed to be clean, too.
There's nothing in there.
It's clean. The
Yeah.
petitions that were built have been torn out.
Okay, good.
I'll talk a little bit about that in O&M, but it's pretty clean right now.
The
And everything,
pre-K.
they got all their stuff out? The last
Yeah, I
thing
think
was
so.
The last thing up there was like the punching dummy or whatever.
Yeah, there was that and the water cooler and
Yeah,
then.
we found that, I think.
There's some padding they put on pillars and stuff, but it's not really removable.
Okay.
And the elementary does look great. So, and I agree with Mr. Graham. High school's next. It needs to look like, they even painted the IT room. Got behind our networking stuff and painted and did not get any paint.
Cleaned the floor.
And they cleaned our floors. It shines.
I had to hear Jonathan whine about the dust and stuff, so. Getting up
Well,
on
he
the-
got a new office. We just need to get it painted too.
just likes to whine.
Well, the IT department got the new office. It just needs to be painted too. But high school needs to be next. Yep. Any other questions? Thank you.
Scott?
Okay, I want to take my hat off to Mr. Melvin. He came down and got the pump going for us at the football field and, in my opinion, saved it. We didn't, through all that heat, we had no water.
Yeah.
And he took the pump off and took it to his shop and they welded it up. And that saved us from having to buy a new one. We probably still need to buy a new one for a backup. But these guys and Richard climbed down in the creek there and they got it all straightened out. And so we're pumping water out of the creek now. And we got a couple sprinklers to replace, but when the water did hit it, greened it up pretty quick. So we hope there's a little patch down there that we weren't able to get real good, but this rain surely will bring that out.
Yeah.
But John did a good job with that. Band camp was another success. We had it here at the board office. They finished up, I think, at our last meeting. They were still here, and they finished up a couple of days later. And it's just so refreshing to see our members of the band here with their smiling little faces. And they, I understand I've been replaced on the rain stick. I'm very temporary.
I'd make him travel with you, too.
With the rain.
Exactly. No, make it mandatory.
Mandatory.
I've been trying to lose weight, so I feel
Be kind.
They can sew something together.
That's
what she meant.
See you out there on the football field.
Two would make one.
And I'm getting beat up at the same time. So. Anyway, I love you guys in the band. You do a great job. They're a lot of fun to have here. Sports is in full. We have full schedules for sports in the fall, which is great. Fielding a football team this year again. That's great. Golf, cross country, volleyball's off playing. So it's really nice to see our sports programs in full schedule and ready to go. School is still scheduled to open September 1 for our students, and we're anxious to have our students back. The opening schedule for the opening day for our teachers on Tuesday, we start with, like I said, with transportation. Wednesday, I have new teachers here for orientation. On Thursdays, professional development at the home school. Friday, we have, on the 27th, we have division professional development with, like Denise said about the Master Connects. We'll do all the training there for the core area teachers. Special ed teachers will report here, I guess, for their in-service. But put this on your calendar because I'd like to see you board members at our luncheon. That's on the 27th. It starts at 12 o'clock. We're going to eat. We're going to showcase the school. And it'd be nice to have the school board members there if they can come. Monday's the parent-student visitation. That will be on the 30th. and it's a 12 to 7 day for parents to come and meet the teachers. And Tuesday's the teacher work day, and they have to report to the school. I'm sure there's a lot of work to be done for them. One of the things not ever mentioned here when we talk about policies that's sent from Richmond is they send these things that we must do, but they don't send any money with it. And it's called Unfunded Mandates. And I'm really sick of unfunded mandates, especially for a small system like ours. We're required to do this and do that and with no money. And local government gives us as much money as they can. They give us a lot more than they're required to do. So the state is the ones that's the criminal here with unfunded mandates. I mentioned again about the bus drivers and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Also, we've done some switching around here at the board office. I've moved my office over across the hall beside Miss Radford, and we've taken my old office and made it into a really nice conference room. And if you guys would like to go visit that, if you haven't seen it, Ms. Parker's the one that got that done for us with the help of her son and the other little helper. And we have a really nice conference room there, really private. It's got windows, so it's nice. I want you all to look at it before you leave. That's all I have, sir.
Okay. Which of you would like to go first? Ladies first?
I only have a few things, few being two.
That's a
So
couple.
band camp was a success. We had a great time and we got a lot done. So now we're just doing like every Tuesday and Thursday practices from 4 to 7, I believe. So yeah, that's it. That's also going pretty good. And then the other thing is governor's school has started, and I'm in that, and so far it's pretty good. I really enjoy it so far. So it's all online, but everybody's like super like willing to help with everything. So yeah, it's great to kind of get back into the swing of things, even if it is virtual. But I really enjoy it, and that's all I have. So.
Thank you.
All right. Well, football's doing amazing. We had our first jamboree Saturday. We're a whole different football team this year. We learned our strength. We execute plays much further now. And I wanted to mention something about not having internet at the football field to work our cameras, but that was mentioned before. And I was asking another thing, if we can approve Coach Coppola and Coach Sheets as the two new coaches coming in. So that's all I have.
It's on our agenda.
Okay. School board?
I want to say, I think I can speak on behalf of the board for a previous board member who sat here, to the Looney family. Our prayers and condolences are with that family, and we're praying for them. I'll tell you, a friend that we've had for quite a while is the Correctional Center, and I'm glad we're celebrating 75 years. I believe it's with them, and I think we found a really great community partner, and I'm proud of that. I'm excited to see what's happening in our schools. Can't wait for our kids to get back. I just can't say it enough, these online learning virtual programs. So if there's folks watching at home, if you've got a kid who's in person, they can also take these online courses if you're a high school student. So with that, it's just, we've never done this before, and I think we should be ever more excited about it because of what we're able to offer our students, and excited about things that we'll be taking care of tonight on the agenda, but that's all I got to say for now.
I just think that all of us are truly blessed and honored to be working with the kids and the faculty and everybody in our community that takes an interest in our kids. And I think we always hopefully we always put the kids first, and that's our main concern. and I'm so glad to be a part of that.
Just piggyback on what Philip said about the Looney family, just keep them in your thoughts, and appreciate everything Paul did for the community, everything from the fifth quarter to just, he just gave of himself, so it was, just county lost a good man. And appreciate all the board members and superintendent and all that they've done with the actions that we've taken today and all the work that's been gone into it. I'm not sure why, I don't know if people doubted what we were going to do. I think most of them should know us, or at least ask what our opinion was. But, I knew where my mind was and where I was set at on the things that we were going to do. So a couple of things. I had a teacher ask me about the parent-teacher meetings, or the parent-teacher meet with everything going on with COVID and stuff. And they were kind of concerned about having so many parents and stuff in the rooms. They said sometimes they can't schedule just one at a time. And so they were concerned whether we were going to space those out or maybe not have those at all. I'm not sure. So I just told them that I would say something about it. And then also, where are we at with coaches and reviews on how coaches did last year? I don't think we voted much on coaches in the past year. Usually, I think we had set it up, we would vote every quarter, wasn't it? Right. And I don't remember the last time we had a reviews and a set of coaches' reviews and a set of coaches to vote on. So that's something we need to start looking at. That's something we're supposed to approve every year. So we need to look at that.
That's a good point, because that's needed.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to Tyler tomorrow so that we get that going again.
Yeah, just we haven't seen any reviews, and we haven't, but like I said, I thought we were doing those every quarter. We set it up to where it was nice and simple that way. So give the coaches, as soon as they would come out of their season, they would weigh whether they would be on with next year. So, and I think that's it.
Okay. Sometimes we get a little bit the impression that people feel we have our own agenda here, and that's anything but the truth. We work very hard to represent the community and take care of the kids. And this is a job where you dedicate a lot of your time and your energy as basically a service to the community.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody that's on the board and that supports the board. This has been a tough period of time with COVID and a lot of the things that we've received out of Richmond, and trying to keep the money in place and trying to get the facilities upgraded. So everybody's worked really hard, and I just want to make sure people understand that. And we're not here feathering our own nests, trying to support our egos, anything but that. We're trying to serve the community. Okay, with that, next is the action agenda, and any questions on the payments? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the payments.
I'll second.
4.
Ms. Puckett? 4. Mr. Shepherd?
Okay, next thing is the elementary school, our facilities over there will be complete with, the boilers have been shut down. Everything will have heating, cooling, air makeup, heat and cool recovery, and air purification, except for the lower level of the Early Childhood Center and the FFA building. We can pay for these two out of the Vassar funds, which are the COVID funds, and actually have, I don't know, it's been, 3 weeks ago or so, we went through all the funds and laid out the various projects to make sure that we were, meeting first, I guess, all the remediation type things and the additional medical and nursing and, COVID type support. And there is money to fund these two out of those funds. And the first one, the FFA, which will be moving ahead now with the dental office in there, to do all the offices in the FFA building is $22,315.
Were there no other bid, just that bid?
It was just a single bid. We published it for 2 weeks. I'll tell you, most of these heating, cooling companies right now have so much work that they are really not interested. The lower level of the early childhood building, which and Mike might want to chime in on this, they'd like to have STEM in there and robotics in there. It's cleaned out right now, walls taken out that were added. Again, the heating, cooling, air makeup, all that on it is $18,479. I would like to see us do this just to complete that entire location. That's the last two items we have over there.
Did we have any bids to like to compare these two? Just to make sure the pricing's comparable? I hate to have just one bid.
They came in at, right now, I will say is an inflationary period.
Yeah.
We were expecting the bids to come in combined about 38,000.
Okay.
They came in about 40,000.
Okay. Well, it's just that time. It's right now.
It's their ballpark. They're.
Well, the market's tight right now.
Right.
It just, this is the time. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. If not, we may get somebody else that's got a price that's 25% more. And if we wait, our price could be 25% more.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're willing, if we could have a motion to
I had a
approve
quick
those
question.
two.
Did the state say that the governor said that he was gonna get ready to send us some more money for air makeup and HVAC filtration so that we're gonna have more of those funds to look at?
Yeah, the state said, I forget
I think the minimum was like 225.
That's what I was gonna say.
It was
it's
supposed to
minimals.
come out as to how they're breaking it down per school district, but we haven't gotten that yet, to my knowledge. But, I'm hoping that
Yeah,
might
that
be.
money we could possibly spend at the high school would
Right.
be a great investment there.
We've kind of cleared the path now on how these projects are done at the elementary school.
Yeah.
And if the state can come out with some funds for heating, cooling, air quality, that would be great.
It'd been nice to be able to get the lights at the elementary.
Yeah, I've tried every way I can, but it looks like to replace the lights at the elementary school is going to be in the range of $80,000. Now, that's something at some meeting I'll probably present to you because that's a project that does have a payback, but the payback is about 5 years.
Yeah. Well, maybe while we're doing the high school, maybe next year we can look at that too, and so.
Do them both at the same time, see if there's any other cost savings that we could.
Yeah, because hopefully things will slow down. You can actually get some people to bid on some things maybe by that time, so.
Right, that's the problem. It's so hard to get contractors right now.
Do we want to do these together, or do you want to do separate?
We need to do them separate,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept the bid for the RFP 2021-6 for the elementary FFA HVAC.
Second.
Ms. Puckett? 4. Whoops.
4.
4.
Okay,
Four.
who's 4?
4.
I'm 4.
Thank you.
We're all 4.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to also accept the RFP 2021-7 for the elementary pre-K basement HVAC.
Second.
All right,
Okay,
Mr. Bailey.
4.
4.
Ms.
4.
Puckett. Mr. Shepherd.
4. O&M projects. Of course, the big one's the elementary school. The thing that, when the project's done, nobody will know even happened, hopefully, is that we had to triple the electrical power in the school. And that meant running conduit from one end of the school to the other, and I mean big conduit, and pulling big wires. And the AEPs come out, put in a new pole, put on new transformers, and hopefully we'll come back early in the week. Everybody's worked extremely well together. We are having trouble getting equipment for the heaters in the bathroom and the heaters at the entrances. You know, so at every main entrance, there's heaters so that when people come in, it keeps the hallway warm. That equipment is back ordered and probably won't be here. Will probably be put in over Thanksgiving shutdown, something like that. But it's not something that's going to hurt us till then. We don't need heat right now in those areas. As has been said multiple times, the prison farm has just been amazing. The number of hours they have put in is beyond belief. I mean, a lot of weeks they've worked 7 days a week. For a while they were working 12-hour days. They've had at times 13 inmates up there as well as guards. It's just, you know, from what we started out, we were going to paint the classrooms, and then we added the hallways, and then we added Wagner, and then we added the gym, and we.
Mike was greedy.
Yeah, they even painted Mike's office, painted the computer room. I mean, it's like it's a new school, and like I said, it used to be as you went from. I won't say they didn't get a little paint on the floor, but they've sent in crews now to redo the floors, and their idea of a shiny floor is beyond anything we ever had. They've just been amazing. And then they've been redoing cabinets in the office and countertops, and now they're redoing doors. By the way, ABB gave us, the stainless steel itself was over $6,000, and they made them into kick panels for all the doors.
Okay,
wow.
yeah, cool.
And had them brushed and everything, so that's being
Thank you to them.
yeah, so we want to make sure that's known. Everybody's really pulled together on this project, so we got a lot of loose ends yet. Like I say, AP's got to step up, but the guy who was heading the crew from AEP lives down the road from me, and I sold him hay. I told him I wouldn't sell him any more hay if he didn't get us hooked up. It's all going really well, and can't say enough about our contractors. And the other thing that people don't understand, we lost the electrical contractors for 2 weeks with COVID.
Yeah.
We lost the main painting crew at the prison farm for 2 weeks with COVID. So it's been, you think you got all the canaries flying, and a cat eats one of them, you know. So it's been quite a project. Next item.
Before we go further, I want to mention that we had talked about in a previous meeting that we were going to sticker up our vans. And
Right, okay.
Yes,
with
that's
that,
right.
I want to announce tonight that we'd like to put out for bid what that's going to cost us, because we thought we were going to be able to do it out of some previous end of the year budget, but it kind of got constrained, and we were using those vans. So what we'd like to do, I'll work with Lenore over the next couple of weeks, and we'll get that put out there, and that way we can get some official bids. And I think that'll also give us time to get school started, so we can get our art teachers involved, see what kind of drawings and artwork we can come up with to put on these vans to.
So we got 3 of them, right?
Yeah, I think we got
three
three.
of them.
And,
I think they're all identical too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, in essence, to, just showcase our students and also, make our vans known as to what they are. And like I said, I know we talked about doing this before, but, like I said, time constraints kind of got in front of us and so forth. So, we'll be putting that back out for, quote. So if you know of any good, lettering or, masking companies and so forth like that, let them know.
Yeah, those vans have been a tremendous cost savings for us.
Yes, they
rather
have.
than running buses and having drivers and that.
Maybe we could do some advertising on it in the Series Corn Company or whatever that's
No,
called.
no,
You
ain't
can
gonna be doing none
advertise
of
on
that.
it.
No, we want to showcase the kids. Showcase the
Okay,
kids.
the next one is the return to school plan. And we wanted to modify it to have a 2A and a 2B, or else just a plain 2. And like usual, I've lost mine again. I think that's the only modification we had to it, and that modification, thank you, was that under 2A would be that as long as there are no active cases in the facility, and we'll treat the elementary and the secondary separately. As long as there are no active cases, you might want to write this down, Scott, for minutes. Are we recording this somehow?
She's recording it, so.
She is,
Yeah,
okay.
got it
Okay,
on
great.
YouTube as well.
As long as there are no active cases in in that facility, and like I say, we'll treat it as two separate facilities. When a student is at their desk, it's viewed as a mask break. So they have the option to remove their mask as long as they're sitting at their desks. If we're in item 2, or phase 2, I should say, and we will review the situation weekly. Our desire is to be in phase 1, where masks are optional. And hopefully everyone will be able to be healthy and we can go to phase 1. But
Yeah, and we need to follow pretty much the guidelines from the health department because we're.
Well, what's taking place is the CDC and the health department have given recommendations. But the General Assembly has said we must follow the CDC recommendations. And let me clarify something for everyone so they can understand this. What 2A is mask would be required only in highly concentrated areas.
Right.
Where kids are in the hallways, where they're running into each other and stuff like that. In the classroom, once you've provided the distancing, you can remove the mask for instruction. So the only time the mask would be used is in highly concentrated areas.
Yeah.
So
elementary would be moving between classes or.
In the hallways.
In the
right,
hallways.
coming into school, I mean, once you get to your classroom and at your desk,
Yeah, we're
you're
good.
good.
Let me ask you a quick question, just to make sure I clarify for myself and for the public. But is it not the general order of the day that the governor has mandated inside educational facilities that we do wear a mask?
for inside areas, yes.
Yes. So, I mean, in essence, I just want the public to know, we are kind of stepping with this to be able to kind of be the go-between, that as long as,
You know, we're so small.
yeah,
We
exactly.
we can afford to do the distancing inside the classrooms. So that allows us, in my opinion, so we can remove the mask for instruction.
Yep.
But then, when we go out in the hallways, we're back into a highly concentrated area. So,
And you've talked with other school districts about this, and we've kind of put this plan together to be the best case scenario. So I know there's folks that may say, well, I don't want to wear a mask. I don't like wearing a mask myself. I know our students don't like wearing a mask. I know it's not great, but we've got to do what we can. And for folks that say that masks don't work, okay, but at the same time, this is what we've been given. So, you know, we're going to do the best job we can. And like Mr. Shepherd said earlier, it's all about keeping our students safe. We don't want one child or one faculty member to get sick.
One child, one faculty member, one parent, one grandparent.
Anybody.
I don't want it.
And so, you know, if you want to say something about it, you know, that's your prerogative, that's your opinion. But, you know, as this board, we sit here, we've talked about this plan, and we want to make sure that we're protecting our students and our faculty and staff and our community. Let that be said.
Okay, we need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the return to school plan.
Second.
Mr. Bagley?
4.
Ms. Puckett? 4. Mr. Buttrey?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
4.
Next thing we were looking at is block scheduling continues to come up as a topic. And we need to put together a committee to review the pluses and minuses. And we need to do it early enough in the year that if there is a decision to change, that there is time to change. Mr. Buttrey, you've kind of been a driver on this. Do you have an idea of how you would like to see this committee built?
Kind of what I was thinking, if we could have pretty much a committee that's equal of stakeholders, unbiased folks that would be open-minded, students, faculty, and I think parents and administration would be helpful
for us to get this committee off the ground. So what I would like to see, if it's possible, if we could find a couple of students, even our, I don't know if we want to go ahead and take our student representatives, of course, administrator, board members or so, and some parents, a couple willing parents that would be willing to give up their time, and a couple of faculty members at the high school that, like I said, would provide an unbiased opinion. And that way we could look at what we would need to move forward, because it is something other, virtual's not going away. And so to be compliant with that program, it's something that we believe is important to move forward. I believe it also would simplify our kids' learning schedules, but also I know that it provides a great hurdle for our educators, because they will have to, in essence, restructure their pacing and instructional material, and it'll take some time to develop that. So that's the reason why we're talking about it now and not just changing it. So we want to make sure that folks know that this is something that we want to look at through an objective lens and see if we can move that way.
Of course, we're talking middle and high school, so Tyler, it's your area of control there. Do you have any suggestions how thing ought to be put together?
As far as the committee goes?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd like to talk to this committee, Ms.
I've got it written down to meet with you about that too. I've had one teacher contact me already that wants to be on the committee.
So what do we need to do today? Just make a motion to set up a committee?
Yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so Philip, if you
I
want to
make a motion, we set up a committee to objectively look at how to implement block scheduling.
I'll second that.
Mr. Battery?
4.
Mr. Bagley?
4.
Ms. Puckett?
I'm going to abstain.
Mr. Shepherd?
Okay, matching funds. Do we have any information? I mean, we kind of,
The last meeting, Ms. Hayes was here, and she had, where they had spent money on the jerseys, I think it was, and she was under the impression that the board would pay half of that or match what they put into it, and I think it, I've got that bill somewhere on my desk, but I think it came out to a little over $1,000 that she was.
total or our part?
Our part. I think the jerseys themselves was $2,000 and some dollars.
The helmets, who paid for the helmets? The activity. We pretty much committed to her that we would do that,
And
so.
we
I
told,
don't
we
wanna-
said we'd table that till this meeting, if you
Right.
recall that, so.
You guys willing to
Pony
pay
up.
half of that?
Yep. Yeah, we
I had
committed to it.
I had someone from the golf team, they have had a fundraiser or had a donation of $200, and they wondered if we could match that too.
Yeah, I think the thing we need to do though is they need to present it to us in a way that we can act
Will
on
you
it.
make sure he does that, please, Mr. Eastat?
Right, and then
Thank
she
you.
did this at the last meeting, so.
Okay.
Where's the
so
funds coming from?
It's gonna come out of our general budget, which, you know, I mean, I don't think it's a problem.
No, well, we committed to them, so I
Right.
think we should hold to our commitment. I'll make the motion for the matching funds.
I'll second.
Mr. Bagley?
4.
Ms. Puckett?
4.
Mr. Battery?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
For, okay, HACCP, who's most knowledgeable on that? I think it's pretty much a repeat, isn't it? You know, Laura?
There's not much changes at all, if any.
This is just standard operating procedure as far as how we receive foods and how we deal with USDA, I guess our government, how the government makes us recognize our food service program.
Right, I mean, I could read through it for you. It's only 114 pages.
Right.
Let's go ahead and, I think we should go ahead and do that.
Yeah, sure.
Can we
Okay,
break for a
Page
minute?
1.
Page 1.
The print's off a little, though.
You want my glasses?
I may need both pair.
I've been known to do that.
So I'm going to trust that
Somebody,
we should go ahead and approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve the HACCP-based standard operating procedures.
I'll second.
Mr. Bagley?
4?
Ms. Puckett?
4.
Mr. Buttrey?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
4. Okay, debt policy. Do we know if anything was changed in this?
I don't think anything at all was changed. I reviewed it today, and I didn't see any changes in it.
Are the kids getting free?
Yeah,
Meals.
everybody's
Yeah, it's
getting-
after
all the
this.
students will be free, not the teachers, the adults.
No, there was a law that changed according to student debt policy, that in essence, I'm trying to remember what it said. I read it, and I apologize. Did it say something other to the effect that in essence,
You could not withhold food.
Yeah, it has
We-
a,
we
no
never-
matter,
been
no matter
that
how
way.
much they
that's
owe.
been like that.
Well, I
always
mean,
been that
it's a
way.
moot point now. They
Yeah.
get a free lunch.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, they have, if they buy extra, they
Yeah.
are à la
They have
carte.
to
to
pay
do
for
it.
it.
We always did provide the basic meal, even if they had no money.
Right.
We just couldn't buy them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to say how important it is for all of our kids. I mean, they're getting free lunch and a free breakfast. I mean, that's huge, both high school and elementary school this year. So, I mean, I hope that students and parents and so forth will take advantage of it. I make a motion to approve the school nutrition program with the charge policy for the food service program.
I'll second.
On the debt policy?
The debt policy.
Debt
Yeah,
policy.
the debt policy is what it says on the agenda, and what this says on here is something of the different.
Right,
Okay.
right,
It's a charge policy.
Charge
I'll
policy.
second.
okay.
Okay, we had 2 seconds there.
Oh, okay, take her
That's okay.
second.
Yeah, we'll take her.
I'll second the second.
That means
Four.
four. That means 4.
It's 4.
Okay.
Four. Yeah,
All
four.
right, I got you.
Four.
Everybody's 4.
Mr. Mead,
I know.
Okay, we all forward.
ever forward.
Okay, the next one is the
The
wellness
local
policy.
wellness policy.
That's another big policy.
Right, not as big as the other.
This policy does say that we are going to provide water to students inside the facilities, which we know last year the water fountains were closed off. And with that, with these bottle filling stations are still continue to be open. So I say this in front of our principals, that we are going to provide water to our students, whether that's a bottle for them to refill or whether we have to go out and purchase bottled water, because that's in this policy that we're about to adopt.
Did we provide bottles last year?
Not bottles, we provided the filling stations. We added those.
But we did not provide bottles to the students?
Containers to put the
To
water in.
put the water in? Cups, but not bottles, so cups.
Whichever way's easiest. I think disposable would definitely be the best, but whatever you guys see fit. That's on page 7, by the
I
way,
guess
water.
the point we're making is if we need to do something as far as for certain children, containers, little bottles of water or whatever.
Provisions for them.
We're saying,
Let us know.
yeah, let us
Yeah, we
know
need to
that's
take care
part
of
of our policy.
Yeah. So I'll
With
make a
that,
motion
yeah.
for the local to adopt or accept the local wellness policy.
Second.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Ms. Puckett?
4.
Mr. Buttrey?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
4.
Meal price.
I ain't worried about it.
Don't
Okay,
know.
we raised the price for the adult lunch by, does anybody know how much?
It's $3.84 is what it's
It was
proposed.
$3.60 something, I thought.
So it's going up 20-some
Like a
cents.
quarter, maybe.
She's probably took that as advice from
It was. Let me see if I can find email. Real prices, here we go. It was $3.75, I'm sorry, it was $3.75, it's going to $3.84, so 9 cents. Yep,
But that's for the second tray,
yes,
It's for, well,
or adult lunch?
Adults don't get
Adult
free.
lunch.
or adult lunch, yeah.
yeah, if you go and buy it, you gotta pay $3.
Yeah, yeah, if a child goes for a second tray, the first one's free, the second one they have to pay for. So I'll make a motion to adopt the 2021-22 meal price guide.
I'll second.
Mr. Bailey?
4,
Ms. Puckett?
4.
Mr. Bantry?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
Okay, now, we have a number of policies that have had minor wording updates. And we've all had a chance to review these. None of these address any of the issues that people joined us with tonight. So how would you like to do this? You just want to go one by one down through them? I mean, I could read through things, but again, it's lots and lots of pages.
yeah. Do we want to do each one individually? Or
I
just we
think
can-
I would rather do each one individually.
Yeah, I think we need to do them individually.
Okay.
Is there any way that we can just point out what we're changing, or you think we need to read the whole thing?
Well, the versions you were provided with initially had the changes identified. These are the policies.
These are the actual policies themselves. The
Right.
actual digital copy should have had.
Well, wait a
the-
minute, the ones that,
The ones on top, you should have a copy on top with the new verbiage.
Okay, this is the verbiage. It's,
Underneath, I think is a copy of
Yeah.
the old one.
that's
this is the
probably
red line
difference.
copies here.
I think.
Yeah, this is, actually, if you'll see here, that it's got here over in the gray, that's
Yeah,
like a
yeah, I
red
got
line,
it.
like
I
a
got it.
legal copy.
Okay, yeah, the first one is policy IA, which is instructional goals and objectives. And I think the only change in it is that it added computer science, computational thinking, and computer coding.
Yeah.
So if I could have a motion to approve that one.
Make a motion to approve, policy IA.
I'll second that.
Mr. Bantry?
4.
Mr. Bailey?
4,
Ms. Puckett? I'm sorry.
Patrick.
4.
And Mr. Shepherd.
That's okay. Just say Sharon.
Hey, Sharon, sorry.
That's okay.
You can tell I don't do this. That's right.
That's right.
4.
Mr. Shepherd.
4.
All right.
Okay, JFC, which is student conduct.
Where are you?
It's code of conduct.
Yeah, code of conduct.
GFCB?
Virtually nothing other than they moved some stuff around.
I must have moved all
There it
mine
is.
around.
Mine was at the very
This one-
bottom.
Yeah, mine was
so-
at
Yeah,
the bottom
mine
as
is
well.
at the very bottom.
And to expand quality.
So this policy, the change was added that the board shall establish expectations for student conduct so that public education is conducted in an atmosphere of free of disruption and threat of persons or property and supportive of individual rights. In addition to the types of conduct prohibited below, the superintendent issues standards of student conduct and lists of possible actions for violations of those standards. This policy and the standards of student conduct apply to all Blaine County Public School students. They are enforced when the student's conduct occurs when the student is on school property, traveling to school or from school, traveling to, at, and from bus stops, in school board vehicles, in attendance at any school-sponsored activity, off school property if the conduct disrupts the learning environment. The school board and superintendent biennially review the model student code, conduct code developed by the Virginia Board of Education to incorporate into policy and the standards of student conduct a range of
discipline options, and alternatives to preserve a safe and non-disruptive environment for effective learning and teaching. And basically, some of this, they just move from the tail end of the policy to the front end of the policy is what the note says here.
So now, what you read, is that the new policy?
That's what we added, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's the
this
new-
copy here is the old policy.
It was just re-clarified what the purpose of the policy was, and it identified the various places the policy applied.
There's also numerous other additions in this. Shall we read those, or
No.
you good?
All of
Everybody-
them look like minor wording things to me with no.
I make a motion to adopt student conduct revision policy revision for JFC.
I'll second.
Mr. Bantry?
4.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Miss Sharon?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
That's what I was
4.
called for 40 years.
Okay, the next one is IJ, and what was added to it, I'll read. If the school board provides access to one or more of its high schools and contact with such high schools, student body, or other contact with its high school students during a school or school division-sponsored activity to persons or groups for occupational, professional, or educational recruitment, it provides equal access on the same basis to official recruiting representatives of the military forces of the Commonwealth and United States. So basically, it's saying we don't discriminate
Against the military.
against the military.
I'll make a motion to accept the IJ.
Second.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Mr. Bantry?
4.
Miss Sharon?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
4. Anybody found the next one yet?
Yep, it's right behind it, I think, in the stack where the other one came from.
Close to the bottom. I'll say that. So at the beginning of it, it's adding the parent and family engagement is added throughout the policy to make it more inclusive to the student's family. This is parent and family engagement. They changed the title, previously referred to LEP, changed the something that the program was referred to, minor changes to wording. There's no major changes. Reworded to avoid limiting agencies, more specific. Very minor changes to that one. It added some needs of the parent and family members to assist with their children's learning, including engaging with school personnel and teachers and the strategies to support successful school and family interactions, so it's pretty minimal.
Make a motion to approve modification to policy IGBC.
I'll second.
Mr. Bantry?
4.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Miss Puckett?
4.
Mr.
Oh my
Shepherd?
gosh. CH.
Next one is CH, which is policy implementation.
Simple.
And it says the school board authorizes superintendent to create and update regulations.
And that's the only change, reworded. I'll make a motion to accept that one.
Should we?
Oh, yeah, you know what? I don't know if I should have done that. I didn't think about
You
that.
ask me all the time to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, might as well prove it.
Might as well approve it.
I'll second.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Miss Puckett?
4.
Mr. Bantry?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
4. Okay, on student records, the one I have has no comments on the side. Is that,
There is
in
at
the
the
new
back.
policy?
oh, wait a minute, for some reason I got 2
There's
copies.
2 of these things. There's a JO and a JOA.
Well, here's a J-O.
J.O.
Student
J.O.A.
records,
would be a
okay.
different policy.
Yeah. That's actually separate.
Any notice of disposition received pursuant to code that shall not be retained after the student has been awarded a diploma. So once you get a diploma, we throw away all the bad stuff. A school principal who receives notice that a circuit court, general district court, juvenile and domestic relations district court, or magistrate has issued a protective order for the protection of any child who is enrolled at the school or any other prohibiting contact with such a child notifies licensed instructional personnel and other school personnel who provide direct education or support services to the protected child or the child subject to the order, have a legitimate educational interest in such information, and are responsible for the direct supervision of the protected child or the child subject to the order. That order has been issued. So basically, it's saying if we have a protected child, the people that handle that child need to be notified.
Yeah, there's some comments on page 8 too. Some unauthorized disclosure of electronic records, some disclosure to federal agencies, disclosure of information relating to home instructed students. There's one addition to school division discloses or makes available to a guardian ad litem on request any information, records, or reports concerning a student for whom a petition of guardianship or conservatorship has been filed with the guardian ad litem determines are necessary to perform his duties under the code. So I don't think there's anything big with that.
Disclosure, protection.
Guardian ad litem comes to the school,
Yeah.
comes to me, and provides me documentation that they're temporarily or have custody or are in control of this kid. I am to give them all documentation.
And it also says in here that the school will not disclose address, telephone number, or email address of students.
Pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, unless the parent are eligible. So even the Virginia Freedom of Information Act can't touch that unless the parent
Right,
is.
doesn't cover personal information.
Right.
Okay, if we could have a motion on that one.
I'll make a motion to approve that, JO.
Second.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Mr. Bantry?
4.
Ms. Packett?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
4. Okay, I'm seeing IGDA, but this says IGAI. I don't know, there's a 2 of
Yeah,
them.
character education.
Yeah, there it is, character education. Okay, the character education program shall occur during the regular school year, during the summer, in a youth development academy offered by the school division or both. Parents have the right to review any audio-visual materials that contain graphic, sexual, or violent content used in the anti-bullying program. Prior to the use of any such material, the parent of a child participating in such program are provided written notice of the parent's right to review the material and the right to excuse the child from participating in part of such program utilizing such material.
Huh.
Yeah, I've done that for years.
I still
I
haven't.
think that's all of
I
that one.
don't know that I've even found that one yet.
So let's see.
Basically
Character
just saying
education.
parents are able to review any materials for this character education, which,
Right.
I was gonna ask, when does this happen? I mean, that's what I was kinda thinking, I was like, there's no set aside program to say.
Pillars of character education, it's been happening. Yep, it's been happening for forever.
I make a motion to approve, policy, IGAI.
I'll second.
Mr. Bantry?
4.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Ms. Packett?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
4.
Looks like on this one, there's only, they've added a place to insert for each teacher. This is GCL, a place to insert a list there. That's on the professional staff development. So each teacher, and then insert list here employed on a
What were we
full-time
supposed to
basis.
insert there? I didn't understand. Every teacher's title
Says,
or?
see the footnote, it says at the bottom, it says they require full-time teachers and other relevant.
Available now to Daycorps, which are insurance providers, providing us with a lot of the different professional developments we have to do. And we saved a tremendous amount of money by switching to Daycorps, so we're happy to.
So it says here that the school board should identify the staff members in addition to teachers that it will require to receive the training and insert the list here.
Yeah, it's just a place where you can put the list.
So who are we requiring to take the training?
Yeah.
New hires have to take certain training, and then you have to have a certain number of points to get recertified, so they're told.
Anybody been able to find JOA?
I have not been.
I have not.
Yes, it was actually at the back of JO.
Oh, okay.
It's a
I
very
found
short
it was,
policy.
yeah, and all they're doing is changing the title.
Okay.
And so actually, it's a new title. The policy is new and it's not been adopted. So this is a new one. It has to do with student transcripts. Secondary school transcripts contain information specified by the Virginia Board of Education, and it just talks about those student transcripts. So
Okay.
it's basic. So
Did you pass the GCLs? That's what I was thinking.
oh, we got to back
We
up
need
and
to
do
get a
that one.
motion.
Well, that's the reason why I was going through and making the list, because I think.
Well, you got us off track.
No, I didn't.
I think you did.
You went off track.
I believe you did.
So we need a
Well,
motion.
He was spot on, Dwayne.
I was trying to make the list so I knew who we were putting in here.
Okay, you're
That
making the
way that
list.
we could say, hey, listen, this
So we
is
need
what
to get
we're
We
approving.
need to get a motion on GCL.
Yeah. So,
Do we
so
have
in
a
essence,
motion?
are we just saying new hires are doing this training?
The new hires are required to do certain.
and then all
and then
teachers?
All teachers get professional development throughout the year.
What about
I'm trying to
administrators?
think of something that's come up in the last year or so. If Laura was here, she could tell you, because she does that. But periodically, the state will adopt something that teachers have to be trained on. Dyslexia was one of them, where they had to go in and do an internet Zoom meeting where they got professional development. So there's things that come up that they have to have, they're required to keep their license.
Well, this one here is saying is required to complete a mental health then.
Well, Laura will let
She'll
let
make the
teachers
list.
know.
Yeah,
Okay.
Laura will.
All right.
Yep.
So you want to do the motion?
Nope.
Do you want to do the motion?
You want to do the motion on that one?
Nope.
For why?
Because I don't.
Sharon,
I'll
you make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Puckett,
4.
Mr. Bailey,
4.
Mr. Bantry,
Against.
Mr. Shepherd,
4. Could I understand why you're against staff development?
Because I think we need to have listed it in there. I think we should have put it in there, but we didn't. And I know we said we were gonna do it on down the line, but you're kicking the
Put
can
it-
on down the road.
Put it in there. I don't know what I mean.
Put what in there?
The list.
No, the
of
list
people
is,
that it applied to.
It's saying you have to have a
you have to develop the list, so you put the people's
I thought we
name.
should go ahead and do that
You
before
can't
we.
do that.
No,
You'd
you
have
can't
to
do
use-
that because you
You'd
don't know
have to
which.
do that as a regulation to this policy.
The way I
Well-
understand it, as you take these things, you make a list of what you took, is the way I read it. It wasn't a list of what you had to take, it was a list of what you
No,
have
this,
accomplished.
this right here says each teacher, and then down below it, it says, that the school board shall identify the staff members in addition to the teachers that it will require to receive the training and insert the list here. This is the school board. That's what it says, but
Oh, okay, so you're saying we need to develop the list first and then accept the
yeah,
policy
that's what
afterwards?
I was saying. That's the reason why I didn't vote for it, because I feel like we're not doing our jobs, because it says each school board shall identify the staff members. This policy is incomplete.
So until you put the list in there, it's an incomplete policy.
Yeah.
I could have, well, there's a policeman down the road. I can have,
We
I can have
can just,
Lenore call Elizabeth Ewing, that's what we pay them for, the SBA. These are the ones that do these policies, and get a clarification for you.
and that's fine, and if we can.
Okay, you wanna back up on this one and hold it to the next meeting?
We can, yeah, and just
How do we do
get a
that?
clarification
table
on
it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, let's table this one for the next meeting.
rewind.
No, right.
Wasn't it already voted on?
Yeah, but
It was voted on. So in essence, what we'll have to do is we'll have to go back at the next meeting and bring this back up to revisit it
right.
and revise it.
Okay.
And then we had student transcripts,
Which was just a new
new
policy.
policy on
Yeah.
handling of student transcripts.
Right.
So we need a motion on that one.
I'll make the motion. Student transcripts.
I'll second.
Ms. Puckett,
4.
Mr. Bailey,
4.
Mr. Buttrey,
4.
Mr. Shepherd.
4. Okay. And then we have personnel recommendations, Scott.
Did you get the IGDA? I have one here that is not on the list.
I've got a couple on here that's
The
not on the list.
IGDA is not on the,
Yeah.
on the
Right,
agenda.
but these are all the ones we were supposed to address at this meeting.
And,
I've got several on here that's not, you know, on
Right,
that list.
you
Yeah, that's
ran
not on
copies
here.
of more than what was defined for the meeting.
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I'll give them back to you and you can have them.
I'd like to, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend that we accept the full-time cafeteria employees that's listed in your packet.
Okay, need a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Puckett,
4.
Mr. Bailey,
4.
Mr. Buttrey,
4.
Mr. Shepherd.
4.
I'd also like
Yeah.
to recommend the parapro position. There's 2 of them, and you want to do those separately or do them together? One is the PALS position.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do this separately.
All right,
Yep.
the parapro, I recommend you accept the candidate that's listed.
I'll make the motion to accept the recommended interview.
Second.
Mr. Bailey.
4.
Mr. Buttrey,
4.
Ms. Puckett,
4.
Mr. Shepherd.
4.
And then on the PALs, I'll make a recommendation, or I'll make a motion to accept the recommended.
Candidate.
Second.
Mr. Bailey.
4.
Ms. Puckett,
4.
Mr. Buttrey,
4.
Mr. Shepherd.
4.
Also, there's a list of coaches that you should have in your packet. I don't have that list.
I do not have a list.
I
of
don't have a
coaches.
list of coaches.
I don't either.
Is it on the computer?
I don't.
I can't get there from here.
Did we have a list of coaches? Do you have a copy with you?
That's good enough.
It's Teddy Coppolo and Sheets.
Forward it to us, please.
And that's for,
Football.
Football.
One for football, or a couple for football, and one for varsity volleyball.
yeah, if you'll send that to us, we can.
On my phone.
I saw that somewhere because it was, Coppolo was misspelled. It's Coppola, I think is how he spells it.
Coppola.
Say his name.
That's all you're gonna get.
That's the easiest way to
You
do
know
it.
Augustine Coppola?
That's the
You know
easiest way to
Augie?
do that.
I know a lot of Coppolos, I don't know that one.
You should have it in under 30 seconds.
So I recommend you accept the coaching candidates as listed.
You want to see them?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Is that who you recommended, sir?
That's who you wanted, but. Okay.
How many does that bring us up to football coaches wise?
Payroll, we've got 4, excuse me. That's 4 positions, then we have, 5 including middle school. And one of those gentlemen is a middle school volunteer, and the other one is a varsity volunteer.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So right at 6, 7 plus middle school.
I'll make a motion to accept the coaches.
Second.
Mr. Bailey.
4.
Mr. Buttrey,
4.
Ms. Puckett,
4.
Mr. Shepherd.
4.
I'll make a motion, we get out.
Can I say something first?
Yes.
We need to congratulate Mr. Eastep for getting his doctorate degree.
Oh,
Congratulations.
He got married and became a doctor.
Right.
Doctor married man.
He's a busy guy.
I know.
Right.
Doctor married
So
man.
we have to call you
Congratulations.
doctor now? Hey, Doc, I got this paint right here.
Got this.
Now we can do that. Now we can be,
Okay, appreciate everybody. Some of you hung right with us there.
Yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I thought he made one.
I tried.
All right, then
Sharon
second.
stopped
I
me.
interrupted.
Sharon
Second.
stopped
He
it.
interrupted.
We got to redo
Sit
it.
down, Scott. We
It's
have
a do-over.
4.
4.
Four.
Okay.
It is done.
I'm not for.
Okay.